Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother, and today we are going to be talking about the latest shopping task and also the double eviction that is set to rock the house. Honestly, I watched it last night and I'm still a little bit shook about the way the results went down. I did not expect it. I'm blown away. Honestly, could not have guessed what happened yesterday. But anyway, hope you guys are excited. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And let's get into the video, shall we? So first of all, we're going to talk about the shopping challenge and all of the little ins and outs. First of all, they were split into three different groups. We had the biker bandits. We had Ali, Nathan and Hannah in that group. We had the moustache mob, which was Emma, Shegan and Thomas. And then we had the grifter geezers, who were Baked Potato, Khaled and Sarah. And then we had the mob boss and his sidekick, Marcello and Lily. And honestly, this whole challenge was actually quite interesting. One of the teams was chosen at random to sabotage the other teams. And I actually thought that was a really cool and ingenious way of winning a challenge. However, the whole house was told that if mob boss Marcello correctly guessed who was the traitors, then everyone would win the luxury food budget. However, the traitors or the saboteurs were told that actually if they remain undetected, then everyone wins. So it was a little bit of a nice bait and switch. I thought they actually did a really good job of it. And they had to essentially do two different challenges, which I thought was really fun. The first challenge involved Nathan, Shegan and Baked Potato, and it was a little bit of a crazy one because it was the classic don't break the lasers heist challenge, and Nathan absolutely paid a blinder. If I haven't mentioned already, the biker bandits were the saboteurs, which means Ali, Nathan and Hannah had to sabotage as much as they can throughout the day. Nathan did a fantastic job in this challenge. I've not really been 100% on Nathan the entire time. He goes up, he goes down. Some of his opinions let him down, but then he has funny moments that really do make me chuckle. So it's a complicated one with him, I have to say. But in this challenge, I thought he was absolutely spectacular. I thought he was really entertaining. He was really funny. And there was moments where I was like, I can't believe he's getting away with this, and he's blaming it all on Baked Potato. And Baked Potato was getting so angry and pissed off that she was so clumsy and idiotic. But actually, it was just him, like, moving into the wires and the lasers even, and, like, pushing off the little things off the plate. Oh, it was brilliant. The way he did it was absolutely superb, and honestly I was very impressed. And even after all of that, mob boss Marcello was like, oh, it must have been Baked Potato. I'm suspicious of Nathan because he's a bit too calm, but also Baked Potato is just suspicious AF. So the second challenge involved Emma, Khaled and Hannah, and they essentially had to answer little quiz questions about the other housemates and the house itself, and plugging codes in order to sort of unlock display cabinets. They were not very good at this, and actually I think Hannah played an absolute blinder with this because she chose the correct questions to give false information on. They were asked what the combined ages of like three of the housemates was, and she gave one of the housemates his age as like a year younger, so obviously it was going to throw the code off. And I actually thought that was such an ingenious way, because after all was said and done, Emma had gaslit herself into believing that she was the one that came up with the number, even though Hannah was the one who gave it to her in the first place, which I thought was really funny. And then we also had another question in which Emma tanked, and then the third one I think they got right by some pure like luck, fluke, accident. I don't know, they just did it. I was very impressed. I gotta say, I was very impressed. But obviously it was another absolute abject failure because they only got 1 out of 3, same as the previous group. So I think Hannah did a fantastic job of sabotaging this. Like twice, like she managed to mislead them or give them false information or confuse Emma so that she thought she was coming up with things herself. It was brilliant. But when all was said and done, I was actually kind of surprised that Marcello blamed Khaled for all of it. I was like, that's odd. He was like, you're being very defensive. And Khaled was like, what? It was very strange. But I think it fed into the fact that he thought that Khaled's team was suspicious because Sarah was acting suspicious, Khaled was acting suspicious, Baked Potato was acting suspicious, when little did he know that the true masterminds were the biker bandits. So obviously Marcello and Lily decided to choose the grifter geezers as the pick for who they thought the saboteurs were, which meant that they actually won the luxury shopping budget. But obviously this is Big Brother and this is this cast of housemates, so don't be holding your breath for too long that they'll get that luxury food budget. But I thought this was actually a really, really cool challenge. The bit where Baked Potato was running around the room screaming and shouting, going, I knew it! I knew I wasn't going crazy! And then Nathan was like, yeah, I completely gaslit you. And you could just see her be like, I don't know whether to hit you or to kiss you right now because I'm so angry, but I'm also like, yay, we passed the challenge. I thought that was really funny. And I think it was at that moment that I was like, oh, I don't really want Baked Potato to go home. Because at this point in time, in my head, it was Baked Potato and Lily going home. And I was like, okay, I've made my peace with that. It's fine. Like, did I want Khaled to go over some of the other people in the house just to mix up that core group? Absolutely. I think he needed to go to just give it a little bit of a mix up. I think, well, we'll talk about it more in a little bit, but I think the two people that went were the right two to be taken out in order to really cause chaos this week. So we are going to be heading into potentially sensitive areas of Big Brother, and we've got to talk about Sarah and her rule break. It wasn't really a rule break, to be fair, but she had to be given a formal warning. And that's because of a certain phrase that she was found out to have used. And I don't remember it being aired. It might have been aired and just missed in the whole hubbub. But she apparently said something along the lines of, her and Nathan this was. And I'm surprised that Nathan wasn't called out as well, considering that he had also said it allegedly. But Sarah had said something along the lines of stop the gloats. And obviously that is meant to be a little bit of a parody of the whole political slogan stop the boats, which is about stopping immigration in the UK. It is not been taken, it has not been taken in the way that Sarah meant it to be taken, and I think Hannah was a little bit offended that it was being used to sort of talk about her. And this is what I mean by, I feel like there are certain people in the houses that might overstep the mark slightly or ask insensitive questions, like Emma, but I always feel like with her, it comes from a place of, I want to understand you and I want to learn from you and I want to know how you tick. How is your culture different to mine? And I find that really, really nice from Emma, in the sense of she's always asking questions to Hannah, to Shegan, to Khaled, so people who are not in her everyday circle in her life, and asking them questions about their life, about their religion, about their culture, and really finding out information about them. And then you have Sarah, who's chanting stop the gloats and is a UKIP supporter. It just doesn't paint her in a very good light. And Big Brother did have to give her a warning and be like, look, it's insensitive language, you've been warned, etc, etc. And I'm glad that they did that, because obviously Hannah was a little bit upset by it. But then in the next episode, Hannah was like, oh yeah, I just called you out because I didn't want people on the outside to think that you were doing it in like a nasty way. I wanted to like give you the chance to be like, oh no, it wasn't meant in that way, etc, etc. But I think people have already made up their minds, kind of thing. Like, you just don't do that. It's like making jokes out of the whole "Make America Great Again." It just doesn't land very well, does it? Because it has such negative connotations and it's like such a right-wing political phrase, that I just don't think you should be joking about that kind of thing, especially when there are people in the house that could potentially be offended by it. Khaled versus Marcello. What do I have to say about this, other than Marcello is just not a very nice person and actually cannot handle himself in an argument without getting leery and angry and pissed off. Because Khaled was very much trying to wind him up, and it seemed like he was just sort of like making subtle jabs at sort of Marcello whilst he was in the bathtub, and then Marcello was just like spouting off some really nasty things, telling him to perform to the camera, saying that everyone needs to bow down and like worship him as king, saying that like he's so sensitive and like he's gonna go cry in the diary room. And then he has the cheek to go into the diary room and be like, oh, I would never get personal. I was like, that was a really dickheady thing to do. I know that they're fine and they've had that conversation and they're over it, but like, it just didn't really paint Marcello in a very good light. And I currently cannot believe that he is second in the rankings for like betting odds to win. Ali's at the top, and then you've got Marcello second. Like, who is voting for Marcello to win? I physically cannot understand that in the slightest. Like, I actually just cannot believe it. But that is besides the point. I just think it's just obnoxious is what it is. Absolutely obnoxious. Speaking of obnoxious, we had another rule break. Woohoo. Yeah, apparently, well, I say apparently, but the night before, Lily and Sarah were having a conversation, and Sarah started to take the piss out of Lily, and it was a little bit of a I think it cut a little bit too deep for Lily, in the sense of Sarah was making fun of her body features, saying that she had like a flat ass. And as much as like I think you can joke about that stuff with your friends, Sarah and Lily have never struck me as friends, more sort of acquaintances and people who have to live together. And so I feel like it just came off as a little bit mean. And then the fact that like Sarah was kind of like shouting and laughing about it around the room, Lily just snapped and went, I'm going to nominate you next time. And obviously it was like, oh no, she's spoken about nominations again. No, Lily. So the next day, they put everyone in a boot camp. Hannah was not happy. She was fucking fuming. She was like, nah, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. No, I'm not going to talk about Hannah. I've got no, like, I found it entertaining, but like, it did just sort of wind me up a little bit, but besides the point. The Big Brother boot camp, it was there to cause drama because of course it was. It wasn't actually a particularly difficult challenge. They were having to do it in order to get their shopping budget back, which, like, fair enough. They needed to get their budget back, and Lily was not allowed to have any input in it. But they also had to do this weird, like, line activity where they had to line up in a line from most to least. We found out, apparently, that Thomas follows the rules most and Lily follows the rules least. And Ali is the least annoying, and that Lily is the most annoying according to the group. But then Marcello moved Ali to like mid-table, and it was like, you're just trying to like humiliate her and take the piss out of her, and it's just not funny at this point. Then we had Ali apparently is the least likely to win, which is hysterical considering she is currently most likely to win according to betting odds. And then we had Shegan most likely to win, and according to betting odds, he's second least likely to win. So I just find that hysterical. And the whole lineup was warped because apparently Thomas was second, and I was like, how? How do these housemates think that Shegan and Thomas are going to win? How? Like, they are the most boring people in the world. Oh, God, honestly. And then last but not least, we obviously had the shopping challenge budget being decided, and Lily obviously wasn't allowed to give any input, so she was just communicating with smiles and claps, and it was absolutely hysterical. So yeah, on the whole, the Big Brother boot camp, it was a bit of a waste of time, but let's get on to the evictions. So we have 2 evictions in this episode. The first one was Lily, and the second one, rather shockingly, was Khaled. I really expected it to be Baked Potato first, Lily second. And I was really shocked that Baked Potato was getting booed more than Marcello was. Which I was like, how is that okay? So I was just really confused why Baked Potato was getting all these boos for absolutely no reason. Like, absolutely no reason. She's not done anything. If you're booing for Nathan, wait until he's up for eviction. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, I CBA. But anyway, it is what it is. Lily left first, and I'm going to miss her in the house, but I feel like it's going to be a much calmer house in the sense of she did so many things that wound me up. But also, I loved having her on my screen every night because she did make me chuckle, the way she would talk and the way she would interact with Ali. I could see Ali was absolutely gobsmacked and was shocked and was upset and crying, and it just broke my heart. I need her to win. I need Ali to win. Team Ali all the way. Hashtag Team Ali. I've been Team Ali since day one. Since day one when she walked in, she was like, I don't know, I just really find awkward people on TV really interesting and really, like, personable. I don't know why. Like, Jordan last year, I wanted him to win and he was the most awkward. So, yeah, chill. And then the second one, Khaled. Khaled came as a shock, actually. I did not expect Khaled to be evicted. Did I vote for Khaled? Absolutely. Yeah, I did. But that's because, like, I didn't feel like... Out of everyone in the house, I feel like he needs to go in order to send the core 5 or whatever it is into a little bit of like a, oh, okay, because they were getting a little bit too big for their boots. I wish that Marcello had taken Khaled down and left Thomas up there so we could have got rid of Thomas. I didn't want to have to vote for Khaled, but I physically couldn't bring myself to vote for the other girls. I couldn't, because they are all very, very entertaining and interesting, and Khaled sends people to sleep with his stories. So I just didn't feel like I could vote for anybody else, because in the nicest way possible, I needed to save Ali, and I feel like putting Khaled up there with the votes would have saved Ali, and it did. So I've got nothing to regret in terms of Ali. But yeah, I'm sad that Khaled's gone, because I feel like I didn't enjoy him in the first 2 weeks, and then I started to really like him, and then I liked him last week, and I've liked him this week, and it's just a shame that he had to go this week instead of, I don't know, was he up week 2 or week 3? I can't remember. I think it was week 3 he was up, and I wanted him to go home, but it is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it. I am gutted to see them both go, but like I said, I feel like they're the 2 perfect people to take out of the house and to see what kind of chaos that causes. Ali's going to be left on her own. The core 5, or core 4 now, are going to think, damn, maybe the public aren't so, like, happy with us after all. They thought that Khaled was safe. He's out the door now. So, very interesting. I have a feeling, and I'm going to make a prediction, because vote to win is open right now. But I have a prediction that the, like, voting out order is going to go as follows. Thomas, Sarah, Shegan, Baked Potato... maybe. Nathan. Oh, who's left? We've got Hannah. We've got Marcello. We've got Ali. And we've got Emma. Now, ideally, I would like it to be Marcello, Hannah, Emma, Ali. Because I feel like Emma and Ali are my 2 favourites from this series. However, I think it could be, and I really hope it's not, because I think it'll be Emma 4th, Hannah 3rd, Marcello 2nd, Ali 1st. That's just from what I'm seeing from polls online. I hope it's not. I think Hannah could potentially get 2nd, but I think Ali will win. That's my prediction. I'm going to seal it. I'm really interested to see who both AJ and Will put in their envelopes. If it was Marcello, I put out on Twitter that I think they put Marcello in their envelope, and that's why they've been defending him and dick riding him all season. But either way, that is it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.